I'm Jessica Valant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Hi, and welcome back to Connections, our special Meet Your Body episodes where we're just chatting. We're just talking like we were hanging out, having coffee, maybe all together in a room before a workout class, going for a walk. And I had someone ask over on Instagram, actually, a question that I thought was really important for us to chat about. And she asked if I ever have issues with body image and or how I address that. Like, how do I deal personally with issues around body image? And I appreciated this question so much. So first off, I think it's almost impossible to be a woman in our society without some kind of issues around body image, either in our past or currently in our present. We are surrounded, like from the moment that we can walk, it feels like, from our first memories, we are surrounded by images like in the media. So images that we're seeing with our eyeballs in the media, magazines, TV, social media, with advertising, with marketing, with words, with other people putting their expectations on us, sexualization around our bodies, people making comments that aren't appropriate, making us uncomfortable, some of us with true trauma. I mean, this is coming at us as women from a very, very young age. And so I first want to say, if you do feel like body image, like self-body image is an issue or something that you're always working on, you are not alone, okay? You are not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. You haven't done anything wrong. You aren't weak. You aren't lacking discipline. You are a human being in our society who has been bombarded with the messages that your body either isn't good enough or is used for other things from the moment really that you came into this world. And so we are like going up a hill. We are fighting against the current when it comes to having good body image. And it almost feels like that's not accepted in our society. And I know that. I mean, I have seen it teaching more fitness classes than I can count in my life and owning studios and physical therapy clinics for a really long time. I hear it in the words we use as women when we're around other women. Even if we do feel good in our body, we're not going to voice that because we don't want other people to feel bad. So we don't even voice when we feel good about ourselves or when we're comfortable in our bodies. Like, that's how far it's gone, that we actually will talk down about ourselves in order to fit in with a group. And so I want to again acknowledge, if that's where you are, it is a normal kind of issue to have. I also really want to remind you of the value of feeling good in your body. And that can take some time to get to. Like, I tell people, we're not going to start with you loving your body. Like, that's great if you can get to that point at some time. But I'm not going to start there because that's a really big ask. That's a really big ask when someone like has never even liked or known their own bodies. So if you followed me here, you know I will always say, I want you to be a partner with your body. How can we find that place? Like, how can we find a place that you can even sit and talk to your body and listen to it and maybe have some respect for it? Sometimes that's the first step. But I want to tell you how important that is. Like, it is so vital that you are willing to take a step to start to feel that partnership with your body. And maybe having that mind frame might help, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to love my body. I'm supposed to love myself. I'm supposed to have this great body image. Well, not necessarily. But if you can form a partnership with your body, then in the moments that negativity comes up, or in the moments that some of those sad thoughts maybe come up, you're able to put them to the side. You're able to move past them and say, you know what? That's not true. That is programming I've always had. When I look in the mirror and I say I don't like what I see, that's programming I've always had, but I don't have to follow that anymore. I don't have to believe that anymore. And that's different than looking in the mirror and suddenly saying, I love everything I see. I mean, that's a big jump. That's hard. I'm not there. I don't do that. I don't look in the mirror and say that necessarily. But I can look in the mirror and say, look at this body I get to inhabit. Look at how far she's come. Look at how hard she's fought for me. Look at these weights that we're lifting. And that alone feels like a victory. So keep that in mind as we chat for a few minutes today. I'm going to tell you a few things that have helped me when it comes personally, just when it comes to body image. And then I have a pretty big thought at the end that kind of is an umbrella thought to wrap all of this up that I think is pretty darn important. So for me personally, I absolutely was in that place that I think many of us women, especially American women, but any of us women in that hustle culture, in that place of feeling like I got to go, 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 go. And when we grew up in diet culture very much, right? So, whereas for me, especially in my early 20s, it was all about, I'm only going to work out to burn calories. Like that's the only reason that's worth working out is to burn calories. So I was in that place with working out. It was a means to an end. I did not like how I looked. I just never thought I was supposed to, honestly. And I grew up with a lot of messaging around that I have discovered since then. I really have had to work through and had some therapy for. But very much, I did not like my body. I was not proud of my body, just what all of us go through. So a few things that did change it for me. The first thing was being diagnosed with endometriosis in my early 20s. I had been through a lot of pain. I had been through years of pain, going to the ER, unexplained diagnoses, multiple tests. And I woke up from that surgery and was told, 1, you have endometriosis. 2, it's not curable. We did what we could to help, but it will come back. You have to manage it the rest of your life. And 3, you might not be able to have kids, or it's going to be hard for you to have kids. So I left the hospital with that new message. And I knew, 1, that I really wanted to be a mom. And 2, if I did want to manage this and have a chance at being a mom, I had to learn how to treat my body with this new diagnosis. So movement and everything around eating and all my health choices really took a turn in that it wasn't just this idea of burning calories anymore. It was, how do I serve this body that is going through something that I had no idea. Like I had no idea I had this. I need to be able to move. I need to not be going to the ER all the time. I want to be a mom someday. What do I need to do for my body now? So that was one thing that I was forced into changing that mindset around punishing my body, like using movement and food to punish my body, to trying to serve my body, using movement and food and supplements and mindset and all of that. And it wasn't a really quick turnaround, but it needed to be a turnaround for me. So that was kind of the first piece. The second was years later when we had our first baby, but we were going through infertility, trying to get pregnant again. I was in a lot of pain all the time. Going through a lot of health issues. And I remember being on my mat and having cramps again. Like I had cramps constantly. And getting another negative pregnancy test. And I got so mad at my body. I just said, why can't you be like everyone else? Why can't you work? Like, what is wrong with you? And I heard a very clear message that said, I don't want this either. I want to work for you. And I realized it was a really big moment for me that turned around me trying to punish my body and realizing, oh, she's in this with me. She's not trying to hurt me. I need to take care of her. She's in pain. This isn't punishment. So that was another piece, another layer to adding to this idea of not changing. Again, hear me when I say this change in body image wasn't that, oh, my body suddenly became what I wanted it to be. It was mindset shifts over time. So another piece to that mindset shift, was honestly becoming a mom with our daughter and then with our son ultimately. But becoming a mom that first time, and the physical, what I needed to do physically to push this baby out, over 40 hours of labor, 4 hours of pushing, primal. My body broke. And if you know my prolapse story, you know it's true. My body broke pushing that sweet, wonderful miracle baby out. That changed my relationship with my body. Because again, I had this sudden respect for her that I had never had before, that I will never lose. Because no matter what, in the middle of everything else, every diagnosis and surgery and scars I've been through, I can say, you did that for me. You did that, and you made me feel like a warrior, and no one can take that away. So that was another layer to that. Another one was learning not to compare myself to other people, and that's huge, and I know it's harder than I make it sound. I know it's not easy, believe me, and it's a constant journey for me, constant. But learning not to compare is really, really important when it comes to body image, because we're not ever going to be like other people. We're just not. We're us. That's who we are. And we can find our own true strength. We can be stronger than we've ever been. I'm stronger now than I've ever been before, as a 48-year-old woman with 6 surgeries and all the things I've been through. I am definitely stronger than I've ever been. Also, I need a little more rest than I've needed in the past. My body's never going to be like that 25-year-old trying to sell me something on Instagram. I'm not going to have that flat belly. I'm not. Again, learning to accept that instead of trying to chase like this carrot that I can never reach, that is really important for body image. Really important to know what goals you can reach, and also to know what we might be striving for that are never going to be within our reach. Again, the comparison game. I see people, women my age, older, or recovering postpartum like I was, who are out getting right back to running. And I can't. With my prolapse and my pelvic floor issues, I cannot. But comparing myself to that was just leading me down a rabbit hole of feeling bad about myself. And then what that does is it actually stops you from trying to work towards the things you can do. When you let yourself go down that rabbit hole, feeling bad, comparison, I'm never going to be able to do that. That's just not me. I guess none of this is meant for me. When you go down that place, it actually holds you back from doing what you can do. So you've got to get out of the comparison game. And then the final layer to that helped my body image was actually lifting weights. And movement in general and exercise as a whole, I could go on and on about that. But there's something for me about my journey starting lifting weights and feeling that strength. Like I said, there's a lot of things I can't do with this body, but feeling my own strength build up, like lifting weights and throwing them around. And I know I say that, I don't actually throw them around, but that feeling that I can pick up a medicine ball or a slam ball and throw it down, or I can pick up a weight and do some step ups with it. Or I can do my trail runs that I love and I can jump across a creek. Like there's something so empowering in that changed my vision of what like positive body image was. So instead of looking in a mirror and picking myself apart, I can get out on a trail and run down the hill in the sun to music I love for 10 minutes. And that's what I want. Like that's the body image that I care about, is feeling that. Even if my jean size has gone up, right? So those are the layers for me that have helped change how my relationship with my body, how I see my body, how I partner with my body, the words I use with my body, how I feel strong in my body. And I do, again, want to clarify, this is an everyday thing. It's gotten so much easier over time. I mean, it's been a 25-year journey at this point since that endometriosis diagnosis that I had that really kind of started it for me. It's been a long journey and it's constant, but it is so much easier now than it was then. It is a muscle you have to work. It really is. Like choosing to be a partner with your body is truly like working your muscle, and you have to practice and flex it every day. So don't think it's going to be overnight, but it is worth every step. And when I was thinking about this podcast and thinking about my answer to that Instagram question, I was going through these kind of layers I just told you and the things I know that have helped me. And then I started thinking about some other things that you don't always think about when someone says body image that have kind of helped me. And what I realized is that I think ultimately you can't necessarily have great body image or feel good in your body until you feel good in who you are as a whole. And we really tend to separate that. We think, okay, once my body looks a certain way, once I fit into those jeans, or I can wear that dress, or I'm comfortable in a swimming suit, or I'm comfortable in the Pilates class, or whatever it is, once I lose that weight, once my body looks a certain way, then I'll feel more comfortable everywhere else. And then I'll have good body image. I do not think it works that way. If we only focus on the physical, aesthetic piece, we actually, I don't think we'll ever reach what we think to be our most positive body image, because your body image is also wrapped up in how you hold space in the world. Are you confident in your voice? Are you confident in your relationships, in your work, in your job, in your friendships? Are you confident in walking into a room and knowing that you have value and you have worth? And truly, all of that, like my journey with that, has had a direct effect in correlation with how I feel in my body. Becoming more confident in what I have to say and what I want to share. Becoming more confident in my voice. Becoming more confident in my style. Like, that sounds silly, but that's been a huge thing over the last 2 years or so for body image for me, is kind of accepting the things that don't fit my body anymore. And I think part of that actually is probably going through the double mastectomy and just knowing it's time to, like, what is this body now that I have in perimenopause, the weight changing, the mastectomy, all of that. But really finding clothes that are comfortable, that fit my style, not just my body, but my style, that I can walk in and say, yeah, this is me. This is Jessica. This is me in my fullest confidence, because this is what I like to wear and this is what fits me. Like, that's actually been a really big piece of it. Knowing my needs, knowing my wants, being able to voice that to other people without feeling bad, learning how to be a better mom, learning how to be a better friend. All of that really has and does affect how I feel in my body. And I can say that without a doubt. Like, we can kind of think that and think, oh, that sounds right, but I don't know if it really is. Just think about how you feel looking in a mirror, how you feel about yourself. If you feel really confident in an important relationship in your life, and then think about how you would feel looking in a mirror if you've just had an argument with someone you care about, if someone's just belittled you or made you feel bad about yourself. How do you feel looking in a mirror? I mean, there's no doubt that the things going on around us are going to affect how we feel in our bodies. And so that ultimately is kind of the message I also want to pass on and give, is that you are worth spending time on. You're worth investing in all areas of your life. And I truly believe over time, as those pieces fall into place a little bit more, as you work on your nervous system, as you get your stress levels down, as you allow yourself to rest during the day, as you invest in relationships that make you feel good about yourself, as you learn to be confident in your voice and take up space in any room you're in, when you learn how to find a workout that feels good and get through the pain you have, all of that will contribute to the image that you hold of your body, but ultimately the partnership you have with it, which is what really, really will move the needle in the long run. So those are my thoughts about how I deal with body image, and what I have found has really helped me. I hope it gives you something to think about, and I really hope you walk away, if nothing else, just knowing, one, your body is your partner and it's worth fighting for that relationship. And then also, you are worthy of walking into a room, of holding space, of being yourself. You are valuable simply because of who you are. Thanks so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us, and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavalant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Valant and Instagram at Jessica S. Valant.